Have you ever thought to yourself, man, I just wish the Booster Course Pass was better? Well, fear not, because I have a calculator and I'm going to randomly generate 100 different Booster Course Pass combinations. That is equivalent to 4,800 track generations. And I'm going to figure out which generation yields the best Booster Course Pass in my opinion and which one yields the worst Booster Course Pass in my opinion. Let's see what happens. All right, and just so you guys know, I'm legit doing this. I am going to generate the first wave of this first generation of the Booster Course Pass with you guys right now, and we are going to see which tracks get generated. I'm using a random integer program on my calculator. We're starting with number 1, which will correlate to SNES Mario Circuit 1, and we're ending at 116, which is a new track number 5. I decided to have 6 new tracks. One of them is Sky High Sundae, and the other 5 are unknown, so they're just filled with new track is what the name is, because I figured 1 track per wave makes sense for this Booster Course Pass. Anyways, let's get started. What would the first track in Wave 1 of the Booster Course Pass be in this first generation? It is track number 104, which is Berlin Byways. That's not a bad start. Next up, we have track number 20. I think that is no, it's an N64 track. It is Moo Moo Farm. Wow, not bad so far. All right, the third track is track number 22, another N64 track. That is Calamari Desert. Obviously, stuff like that is going to happen. You are going to get tracks from the same game in potentially the same cup, and it might happen multiple times. So we'll just have to see what happens. But let's figure out the last track in the Golden Dash Cup of the Booster Course Pass in this first generation, and it is track number 65, which is Waluigi Pinball. Next up, starting the Lucky Cat Cup, we have track number 15, SNES Mario Circuit 4, the track I predicted to be in Wave 2 instead, but we got Mario Circuit 3. Or was it Mario Circuit 2? I'm losing track of my Mario Circuits, guys. The second track is track number 108, and that is going to be Bangkok Rush. We have track number 13 next. All right, that is SNES Vanilla Lake 1. And then rounding out is track number 72. Track number 72 is DS Rainbow Road. All right, guys, so that is our Wave 1 of the Booster Course Pass for this first random generation. Now I will just fast forward all the way to the end of all of this. I would do all of the iterations, and we will see which numbers make the best Booster Course Pass.
Eventually.
And finally, they are done. That's right, guys. After a long time of punching in the numbers and doing the calculations, I have successfully generated 100 Booster Course Pass combinations. I'm not going to show them all to you because that would be ridiculous, but I'm going to show a few of the notable ones to you. So let's get started with this first one. Here is the very first combo. This is a fun combo. We've got, some tour tracks, Berlin Byways, Ninja Hideaway. We got Vancouver Velocity. We got a couple of new tracks. Those question marks, I decided to give 5 new tracks plus Sky High Sundae. So essentially 1 new track per wave. So with this first combo, you could see kind of a mix up every kind of track. You got some SNES tracks, you got some N64 tracks, some GBAs, GCNs, a bunch of the old classics on here. Some notable ones in my opinion include the Turnip Cup, where you got Luigi Circuit and Luigi Raceway in the exact same cup, which I find hilarious. You've also got spread throughout here. You've got Super Nintendo Bowser Castle 1, and you have GBA Bowser Castle 1 and Bowser Castle 2, so that is also very interesting. And if you look down here at the Cherry Cup, you have Maple Tree Way, Toad's Factory, and Koopa Cape, all from Mario Kart Wii, which is kind of interesting. The Wave 6 kind of dies out a little bit with Sky High Sundae, then Riverside Park, Delfino Square, which is a good one, and then ends a little bit poorly with Mario Circuit 2. Now I'm going to get into the 100th combination of the Booster Course Pass, the very last set of 48 tracks that this here calculator randomized for all of you guys. And here it is. This is a very interesting combination. There's not too many great ones. There's quite a few Super Nintendo tracks here, as you can see. You've got Mario Circuits 1, 2, and 4, and you have Donut Plains 2 and Ghost Valley 1. You have Snowland, which we know had a very good revival in Wave 2 of the Mario Kart 8 Deluxe Booster Course Pass. And you also have a couple of my favorites here. You know, you got Mushroom City and DK Mountain from Mario Kart Double Dash. You got Waluigi Pinball and 3DS Rainbow Road bumping up that Rock Cup in Wave 3. And then you have a very interesting Boomerang Cup. Take a look at that. London Loop, GCN Bowser's Castle, then a new track we don't know yet, and then GBA Rainbow Road. With the way Mario Kart 8 Deluxe has been remaking these tracks, this could be a very excellent cup, and I could see this coming to fruition. Now we're going to go into the combinations with some superlatives. We're going to start with the combinations that have had the most tracks selected in it from one particular game. For example, this first one is the Booster Course Pass combination that had the most Super Nintendo tracks in it. And as you can see, with 12 Super Nintendo tracks, this one takes the cake. It's got all 3 Bowser's Castles, 2 of the 4 Mario circuits, all 3 Ghost Valleys, both Choco Islands, a Koopa Beach 2, and Vanilla Lake 2. Wow, it is insane. Some of them are 2 per cup, some of them are 1 per cup. Next, we're going to take a look at the 25th randomization. This one had the most N64 tracks with 9 of them. And let's take a look at what we got here. Choco Mountain in Wave 1, that is expected. We also have Mario Raceway. We have Banshee Boardwalk, which I would be very interested to see what type of remake and remaster Mario Kart 8 Deluxe gives to Banshee Boardwalk. But then you also got tracks such as Calamari Desert, which we saw in Wave 1, Moo Moo Farm, Luigi Raceway, Bowser's Castle from the Nintendo 64, and DK Jungle Parkway and Wario Stadium. Guys, imagine if N64 Wario Stadium gets its first re-release in a Mario Kart 8 Deluxe Booster Course Pass. That would be amazing. Wave 5, Wario Stadium. What do you guys think of this random Booster Course Pass with the most N64 tracks? And now let's take a look at the combination with the most Game Boy Advance tracks, and that is combination number 56 with 14 Game Boy Advance tracks, and that is significant because only 17 of the 20 tracks from the Game Boy Advance game are eligible for these Booster Course Pass, of course, because you got Mario Circuit, Ribbon Road, and Cheese Land in the original base Mario Kart 8 Deluxe game. You got Yoshi Desert and Bowser Castle 1 in the Lucky Cat Cup. You got Bowser Castle 3 and Bowser Castle 4 in the Turnip Cup. And then you got Peach Circuit and Bowser Castle 2 in the Propeller Cup. That is all 4 Bowser Castles taken care of in the Game Boy Advance version by Wave 2. That is insane. And then you also got tracks such as Luigi Circuit, Broken Pier, Snowland, Riverside Park, Rainbow Road, and Sunset Wilds. 3 Game Boy Advance tracks in 1 cup. That is massive. And then you also got Cheap Island rounding out the Game Boy Advance tracks. The 1 cup, though, doesn't feature any Game Boy Advance tracks, but the one I'm looking at is the Spiny Cup. Look at that. N64 Bowser's Castle, Vancouver Velocity, Dino Jungle, and Woohoo Loop. That has the makings of a really great Booster Course Pass Cup, as well as the Rock Cup with Rainbow Road and Bowser's Castle from the 3DS, Luigi Circuit, GBA, and Mushroom Bridge. Those are a couple of highlights. Let's move on. The most GameCube tracks in one specific Booster Course Pass randomization was 10, and they appeared in the 99th randomization, the second to last one. We saw what the 100th one looked like. This is what the 99th one looked like. And just take a look at this awesomeness. You got Mushroom City already in the Golden Dash Cup. You got Waluigi Stadium and Mario Circuit in the Propeller Cup. Mushroom Bridge in the Turnip Cup. So those are some really good tracks for the first 2 waves. You get Daisy Circuit in the Moon Cup. You get DK Mountain in the Boomerang Cup. That is phenomenal. Then Dino Jungle starting Wave 5 with the Feather Cup. You get Wario Coliseum ending Wave 5 with the Cherry Cup. Finally, in the Acorn Cup in Wave 6, Peach Beach and Bowser's Castle from the GameCube. Such phenomenal tracks brought into this Booster Course Pass. You have 2 new tracks as well that we don't know yet. But overall, this looks pretty sick. I think this could be a really fun one. Okay, so there were actually 2 different combinations of Booster Course Passes that gave us the most DS tracks. This one, the 15th randomization, has 10 DS tracks. Let's take a look at what we got here. We got Figure 8 Circuit in the Golden Dash Cup, DS, Luigi's Mansion, and Rainbow Road, and Yoshi Falls, all in the Lucky Cat Cup. I didn't even see all those tracks there, but holy cow, 3 DS tracks in 1 cup is insane. Delfino Square at the start of Wave 3 with the Rock Cup. Then immediately in the Moon Cup, you get DS Peach Gardens. And we'll see how Peach Gardens looks in Mario Kart 8 Deluxe because that track is coming out soon in Wave 3, as they have already confirmed. In the Feather Cup, we have DS Desert Hills. And then in the Cherry Cup, we got Waluigi Pinball and Shroom Ridge. We already know what those look like in Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. So those would be exciting tracks to have. And then wrapping that up, we have DK Pass in the Acorn Cup. A couple of great DS tracks. These are phenomenal. Here is the second combination with the most DS tracks, tied with that first one with 10 DS tracks. We got Mario Circuit in the Lucky Cat Cup, Shroom Ridge in the Turnip Cup, and Rainbow Road in the Propeller Cup. We see Delfino Square, and then we see Airship Fortress, in the Berry Cup or the Fruit Cup. I keep forgetting what the name of that cup is called. And then you got DK Pass yet again in the Boomerang Cup. And you got 2 courses finally in the Cherry Cup, Yoshi Falls, which I find kind of meh, and then DS Bowser's Castle, which you gotta love. And finally, we have Figure 8 Circuit and DS Peach Gardens in Wave 6 with the Acorn Cup. Now, I am looking very curiously at that Fruit Cup. You got Maple Treeway, DK Jungle Parkway, which we'll see about. Then you got GCN Rainbow Road and Airship Fortress. 4 phenomenal tracks that I think would be really great. I don't know about TK Jungle Parkway, like I said, but the other 3, really fun, really awesome tracks. Also, the Rock Cup looks very enticing as well. Toad Circuit, which I personally really like. You got Bangkok Rush from Mario Kart Tour, Dino Jungle, and DK Summit. Those tracks are amazing. So between the 2, I would probably go with the second DS combination as my preferred one if I had to pick one of those to be the official Booster Course Pass. Now we're going to talk about the Wii tracks. In this one, it's the last tie we have, but it's actually a 3-way tie. So we're going to be looking at 3 different Booster Course Pass combinations. You guys get a little bit of a treat. We got some extra Booster Course Pass combinations to look at. This first one is the 10th combination. The most Wii tracks we have seen in one specific Booster Course Pass is 9. That was tied 3 separate times. And this first one actually has 3 brand new tracks, 4 if you include Sky High Sundae. Our first Wii track actually doesn't come until the Turnip Cup. We find Wii Rainbow Road, and then we wait all the way until the Moon Cup, where we see Moonview Highway. Kind of makes a lot of sense there. The Boomerang Cup, where we see Luigi Circuit and Toad's Factory alongside Jungle Parkway and Vancouver Velocity. Not a bad combination for the Boomerang Cup, although Luigi Circuit kind of brings it down just a little bit in my opinion. Then you got Dry Ruins and Bowser's Castle from Mario Kart Wii in the Cherry Cup. That would be a really fun one to race on. Wave 6 is looking kind of nice, although you got Daisy Circuit, which I don't know how I feel about in the Acorn Cup, but dude, the Spiny Cup, Maple Treeway and Mushroom Gorge, 2 classics. We already know how Mushroom Gorge looks in Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. It is pretty fun, but wow, this Booster Course Pass is looking pretty darn good to me. Let's see the other 2. Number 24 also has 9 Wii tracks. Let's see if we can spot them all. We got Mario 2 Mario Circuits in the Lucky Cat Cup. That is a very interesting Lucky Cat Cup. Bowser's Castle and Moonview Highway yet again in the Moon Cup. That is very interesting. Daisy Circuit in the Boomerang Cup, Toad's Factory and Luigi Circuit interesting in the Feather Cup, and we see Dry Ruins yet again in the Cherry Cup. We're going to see Maple Treeway and Mushroom Gorge in Wave 6 again, except Maple Treeway ditched the Spiny Cup and went to the Acorn Cup. This is the 3rd and final combination Booster Course Pass that we have that has the most Wii tracks, tied with 9 Wii tracks. This is randomization number 49. Our first Wii track is actually Coconut Mall at the end of Wave 2, the Propeller Cup. So that is interesting to see. We have Daisy Circuit yet again, Maple Treeway and Mario Circuit making the move to the Moon Cup. And then we see DK Summit. DK Summit and Koopa Cape looking in Wave 4, each in their own cups. And Moonview Highway takes a dip from the Moon Cup, makes its way to the Feather Cup. Final 2 are Rainbow Road and Toad's Factory, starting Wave 6 in the Acorn Cup. Gotta love it. This one is kind of meh to me. You got 3 new tracks if you include Sky High Sundae. This is an interesting combination. That Rock Cup looks very bland to me. I don't know. And so does the Cherry Cup besides Delfino Square. All right, a couple more of these to go. We have the 3DS tracks. The most 3DS tracks in a single combination was 9, and this was in the 42nd randomization. So let's see the 3DS tracks we can find. We have Woohoo Loop kicking off the Golden Dash Cup. Then, speaking of this Lucky Cat Cup, we see Wario Shipyard, but look at SNES Bowser Castle 1 and Bowser Castle 2 back to back in the same cup. That is very interesting to me. Rosalina's Ice Road and Toad Circuit in the Turnip Cup, Bowser's Castle in the Propeller Cup. So quite a few tracks already in the first 2 waves. We can see Shy Guy Bazaar in the Moon Cup, which oddly enough seems fitting to me, maybe because that track does take place at nighttime. Then we go all the way to Wave 5 where we see Daisy Hills. We're going all the way to Wave 6 where we see Rock Mountain. I might have missed a few 3DS tracks. I missed Cheep Lagoon in Wave 4 in the Berry Cup or the Fruit Cup. I keep calling it the Berry Cup. I'd give this a pass. This wouldn't be that bad of a Booster Course Pass. Maybe a little heavy on the Super Nintendo track side, but regardless, I think I like it. And next up, we are looking at the combination that has the most Mario Kart Tour tracks in them. This looks familiar to you. Well, it should, because this was the very first combination we looked at. The very first combination of booster course packs that I spelled out for you guys is actually the same one that had the most tour tracks in it with 10. Let's take a look at them. You got Berlin Byways kicking things off in the Golden Dash Cup. Then we have Bangkok Rush in the Lucky Cat Cup. That wouldn't make sense because Bangkok Rush came out after Wave 1 came out. So regardless, then Mary Mountain coming in clutch. We have Ninja Hideaway, and we have London Loop and Singapore Speedway in Wave 3. Then we move on to the Berry Cup. We see, oh my gosh, it's the Fruit Cup. It's the Fruit Cup, not the Berry Cup. In the Fruit Cup, we have Vancouver Velocity, and then in the Feather Cup is Sydney Sprint, Los Angeles Laps in the Cherry Cup, New York Minute in the Acorn Cup, and that is it. Sky High Sundays in the Spiny Cup, but we count that as a new track, not a tour track. This is randomization number 57, and you're thinking, Gabe, what is up with this one? Well, this combination has the most new tracks with 6, because I only allowed there to be 6. This is actually the only combination where I had all 6 new tracks in there. You had Sky High Sundae, and then the 5 new track slots that I gave to this whole thing. We have the 5 new tracks, and we have Sky High Sundae, and you can see that all the new tracks didn't really start to come in until the later stages of the waves. You got the new track and the Boomerang Cup, then you got 1 new track per cup in Wave 5 and Wave 6, including Sky High Sundae. Overall, though, let's see what the other track highlights are. I do like that Cherry Cup, though, with Wee Bowser's Castle, Wario's Coliseum, and Dino Dino Jungle. That looks very sick. Actually, Wave 5 in general looks phenomenal. Merry Mountain, 3DS Bowser's Castle, and Woohoo Loop. What a wave. That might be like my favorite wave ever. Holy cow. Looking around, there's not too many other like phenomenal ones. All right, and to finish off this video, I hope you guys are enjoying it. If you guys are, please make sure to subscribe, because I enjoy making videos like this for you guys, and we're only going to get bigger and better from here. So make sure you stick around for what else I got coming for you guys. But let's go ahead and take a look at my least favorite of the combinations. Now, here's what it looks like, and you're thinking, Gabe, what's going on here? You got Waluigi Pinball, you got Maple Treeway, Mushroom Gorge, Rainbow Road from Mario Kart Wii. There's a lot of really good tracks in here, like a lot of them. But there's also a lot of really bad tracks in here that I don't like whatsoever. Frappe Snowland kicking things off, Sherbet Land, Donut Plains too. I really don't like the Donut Plains tracks, guys. Daisy Circuit's not one of my favorites. Broken Pier, N64 Bowser Castle is also kind of meh. Luigi Circuit is kind of meh. Vanilla Lake, Donut Plains 1 and Koopa Beach 2, and Desert Hills. That Cherry Cup is kind of rough. Not a big fan of Peach Beach either, or Banshee Boardwalk, or Figure 8 Circuit. Figure 8 Circuit really brings down that Wave 6 entirely. If I tried to go through and make all 100 Booster Course Pass combinations and figure out which one overall I liked the least, that would have been impossible. So the way I did it was to just figure out which combination had most of the tracks that I disliked. And this was the one that came up. And even though it has quite a few tracks that I do really like Vancouver Velocity, Wario Coliseum, Maple Treeway, Mushroom Gorge, Waluigi Pinball. There's a lot of tracks in here that I like, but there's also a lot of tracks in here that I don't like. So because of that, this one has to give the honors of being the least favorite. Moving on, I took the same formula and I applied it to my favorite tracks and saw which combination had the most of my most wanted and favorite tracks in the Mario Kart series, and number 46 came up. And when I put this thing together, wow, I mean, this one really looks good. You got New York Minute and Waluigi Pinball in Wave 1, Wee Bowser Castle and GCN Rainbow Road in Wave 1 as well in the Golden Dash Cup. Phenomenal. Mushroom Bridge, Mushroom City, and GCN Rainbow Road kicking off Wave 2 already. We love to see it. New track, Wario Shipyard Coconut Mall, Wave 2. Also love that. Wave 3 looks just brilliant. Wave 3 in this is probably like the best wave in any combination that this random calculator put together. I mean, you got London Loop, Koopa Troopa Beach, Bowser Castle, and then a new track, assuming that new track is good. And then you got Mushroom Gorge, Los Angeles Laps, Wii Rainbow Road, and N64 Wario Stadium, like 2 of my most wanted tracks to come to Market 8 Deluxe, or to at least get a refresh of some sort at some point in time. Also really love to see DS Rainbow Road in Wave 4, as well as 3DS Rainbow Road and DK Mountain right next to each other. You love to see it. And Ninja Hideaway finishing up Wave 6 in the entire Booster Course Pass. So this one, in my opinion, is my favorite of the Booster Course Passes. Let me know what you guys think about this one and all of the other Booster Course Passes we've seen so so far. Before we go, I just want to show you guys which tracks were the most picked from this random calculator. The number one most picked track, surprisingly to me, was Moonview Highway from Mario Kart Wii. 52 of the 100 times this track was picked in the randomizer. And then trailing not too far behind, Sky Garden and DK Mountain, which was really, really good as well. And then 2 tracks were selected 50 times exactly out of 100 polls. You have Airship Fortress and DK Summit, which was pretty good. The least picked track that this randomizer picked for me was actually DS Desert Hills with 28 out of the 100 votes, which is shocking. And the thing I want to show you guys that's really cool here is when you do an extremely large sample size like this, things start to average out very evenly and very quickly. So because I did these 100 combinations and I took the average of the amount of times each track was selected, the average number of times each track was picked was just over 41 at 41.405. And then I had to decide what is the chance that a track out of this list of 116 got selected in the final 48 of the Booster Course Pass. You just do 48 divided by 116 and then you times that by 100 and you get a 41.379% chance. So those numbers are very similar to each other, almost correlating in a way that the average amount of times that a track gets selected is equivalent to a track's percentage chance that they will overall get picked in the final Booster Course Pass. So I just found that super interesting. And I hope you guys learned a little bit of something. I hope you guys enjoyed looking through a bunch of different Booster Course Pass concepts. Which one was your favorite? Comment that down below. This video took forever to make just because I had to do all of this data. You guys can see how many numbers are crunched in here and how many different Booster Course Passes are on here. Out of the ones that I showed you, let me know which one you guys liked the most. And that's going to do it. Thank you guys so much for watching. Stay all pro. I'm out of here.